Hi guys, it's Joey and this is going to be a review of the Celtic Tree Oracle, a divining system by Liz and Colin Murray. And I'm doing this for a number of reasons, mainly because I promised Sharon I would. And I thought we'd have a little talk about cards and their meanings to me and things, and why I decided to get a card version of the Ogam, and then sort of review what I actually bought as well a little bit. So I promised Sharon I would show this. I'm quite fussy when it comes to cards. I have 3 tarot cards sets that I use, and I use all 3 regularly. I tend to have different energies attached to each tarot set, so I've used each one depending on how I'm feeling at that time, the kind of reading I'm looking at, and I sort of only connect very specifically to particular sets. And the 3 tarot sets I have are the Wild Unknown, the Paulina Tarot, and the Shadowscapes Tarot. Oracle card wise, I have the Witchlings, which I have some upcoming stuff that I want to do with them, and then I've been working with the Ogam in their stave form with the wood, and they have been incredible. They have been unbelievable in terms of their energy, in their messages. They have been like nothing else on earth. I connected really well with tarot from the get-go, from very early on in my practice, but not ever with the Nordic runic system, and I have been able to overcome it a little bit by using amethyst, but it's not the same for me as the Oracle, the Ogam, or the tarot, and the Ogam has been a whole new level. But I do enjoy working with cards, and I thought, well, I would like these in card form for a few reasons. One is that the last, I believe it's 5, let me check. Yes, the last 5 Ogam are newer editions. They are Code, Spindle, Honeysuckle, Beech and the Sea. And they are not present in my Ogam stave collection that I got from the Spirit of Old website, and they're incredible people, the Spirit of Old. I highly recommend them. And that was half a present, my Ogam staves. They're not a cheap thing, but they don't have those newer editions. Now I can get hold of Beech, which I already had, and I can get hold of Honeysuckle on my own merit. You know, I can have those available to me. But I was like, what on earth do I do for Spindle, because I haven't seen that anywhere around here. Grove and the Sea. Grove I've actually done without, because I've managed to connect to all trees and all energies and things of that nature, and the vlog will be discussing that more at length today. I'll do it later today. But for things like the Sea and Spindle, which I just can't get hold of, I was like, I would really like something to focus on, like I've been focusing on the staves as I've been going through. And therefore I thought, well, the cards would really help me with that. Additionally, once I have completed my Ogam journey, I was thinking of offering 1 or 2 free Ogam readings a week. And I thought that would be useful to have the new ones in card form. It might be easier for video layouts, and then I could offer the individuals either the staves or the cards or both. And that's something I'm thinking of doing once that is finished. So if you are interested in a free Ogam reading, that is something which I will be offering in a few weeks' time. 1 or 2 people a week, a free reading. For my sake as well as others. So those are the reasons behind me getting the Celtic Tree Oracle. Now I got mine second hand on Amazon, because if you buy them new they're like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, because I am assuming these are quite rare now. But mine was 20 and a bit. I can't remember exactly the shipping and things, but anyway it was around 20-25 pounds I think. So this is the incredible box. First and foremost, this is wood. Now because it's second hand, it's a little bit, I don't know how that's going to show up, it's a little bit rough around the edges with it being a little bit second hand and stuff, but it's in really, I think it's in really good condition. So then the cards were loose. I don't know how they came originally, if they came in a plastic pack originally. This is the back of them, and we'll go through those in a second. And what else you got in the thing is you get this sort of booklet which has a setup for you recording your original readings in, a leaflet-y thing which shows some basic setups for using the cards, as well as the very basic meanings on there in case you wanted those just quickly to hand. And then the book, which, oh gosh, it's one of these fantastic books with these beautiful fine paper, and oh, it's got a little bit of age to it, and I'm obsessive about older books. So it has everything listed, the pages listed, and we have introduction, the tree alphabet, reading the cards, case histories, giving you some, case history showing you some of the readings that they've done so you can learn, other methods of using the tree alphabet, the Celtic calendar, and further background information. So, you know, there you go, there's reading the cards. Yeah, along with pictures and things of that nature, individual meanings of the cards and the Ogam. Now, I will say there is not a huge amount of information on reading the cards. There is sort of like this bit over here is sort of a background, some of the imagery, and this is sort of the meaning, this very little bit here. So by itself, it may not lead to the deepest understanding of the Ogam. Now, I've not bought it for that. I've bought it for other reasons. Completing my set, having something to flesh it out. So that's not particularly bothersome to me. But I think with the Ogam, the best thing you can actually do is to work with the staves, look up meanings, research around it, read books, read information on the internet if you can find reliable sources, and then experience each Ogam, putting your own feelings down, as I've been doing, as I've been picking up on the energies, understanding how they work, which trees represent which things, the very generalised meanings, and then more specifically tailored to you. So then the cards. Now, I'm going to grab my Wild Unknown because I want to show you the size comparison. And it's just over there, so that's handy. Right, so they're quite small, which is my only criticism of them. They are really quite small. I mean, this is your standard tarot card size, and these are these. Now, it depends, I guess, on how you feel about the size of the card. Now, the imagery is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, we're going to have to zoom in, though, because of the size of them. Right. Isn't that beautiful imagery? Now, I actually love the imagery present on these cards. Some people are going to find the colours a little bit more muted. If you prefer the really bright, out there art style, then you may not go for this. But considering that the Celtic Tree Oracle is literally the alphabet of trees, earth-based for the most part, then this makes a lot more sense to me personally, and it's a lot more natural, earthy, and the colours represent that. I will show you C, because obviously then C is not earth-based technically. I mean, you know, water-based rather than tree-based. So I'll move code out. But I think it works beautifully. I think the borders with the Celtic designs on are absolutely beautiful. The imagery harkens back to sort of having a Celtic feel about it. It has the Ogham present on either side. I really like the cards. I think the imagery is beautiful. I know some other people have shared the images of the cards to do with the trees online. I know Sterling did. And it was actually Sterling sharing that was like the final poke for me to have a look at these and see how much these cards were, because I'd been mulling around the idea of it before then, and I thought, you know what, they keep coming up, so I will have a look about getting hold of them. So generally speaking, and the back of them is really beautiful as well, I think, with the deep green, very Irish feel to an Irish green to them, with a sort of triquetra, a rounded off triquetra, and a sort of clover design there. And overall, given that I didn't pay hundreds for them, I mean, I would recommend getting them secondhand from somewhere which has a good reputation if you can. I really, really love these. I think they feel very me. I like my imagery on cards and things to fully interlink with the energy of what I'm looking at. So generally speaking, I don't really go for ostentatious design within cards and things. And for them to have the earthy, sort of natural nature, earth-based, tree-based energy flowing through cards is really important with having that in the Ogham, because obviously these are card versions of the tree energies. And when you get your staves, you obviously have that innate within the stave itself, particularly if you've ordered from somewhere like the Spirit of Old, who used the corresponding branch to the corresponding Ogham. Or if you make your own set, then obviously you'll have that energy flowing through each stave as you work with them. But I think it's really important for the cards to have at least attempted, and I think succeeded quite well with these, to capture that essence, that energy of the particular tree. So let's actually have a look at some. Now I'm going to actually grab, what should we grab? I'm going to grab oak and we'll have a look. Move these two out. Right, so this is oak. Now, with mine, when I drew my picture, I actually drew it in winter stance with not so many leaves and things on it. This is obviously not in winter stance, but they do have the lightning. Now, I remember very clearly the lightning element to my drawing, and having the slightly charred bit on the oaks, and how they survive, you know, that deep-rooted protectiveness. And I think them having the acorn, which I had on mine, and there's a sturdiness about it. And obviously they have the image of the tree on each one. And if you can see this, the dark patches on the tree almost look like it's surviving damage, which is exactly how I felt about it when I engaged with oak or dur. So I'm really, really impressed with all of these. I think I've been going through them and having a look. Now, what I would say is, I think these are a perfect companion to working with the Ogham in conjunction with the staves. and or being able to interact with the trees themselves if you have the trees nearby you. So for some, it's going to be a jumping off point, like with spindle, because I haven't been able to find any spindle trees anywhere near, and I don't have the wood. But if you possibly can, and I would always start with the older ones first, moving on to the newer ones later, I would definitely say that you should work with the tree energy if you can, and then you get a feel for the tree energy, the branch energy from the stave, and then these cards in conjunction work really, really well. So I'm really looking forward to working with these. I have the odd problem, I mean, they are quite small, which I don't tend to like, but I don't think the artwork actually suffers on these. The artwork is still intricate and beautiful and gives a general feeling for the Ogham, which is great, because quite often when they're smaller and you see smaller cards, they lose something. It's like I wish the Shadowscapes were a bit bigger, because I thought the artwork lost something, whereas you can see the artwork in the Shadowscapes online on her website. And when you see it in a slightly shrunk down form, it kind of loses something, but I don't think these suffer from that, because the imagery is to the point and you can get a feel for the tree. You get a little bit of imagery down here, and that kind of works in a jogging your memory. And once you've got to know the Ogham on a personal level, as I've been doing, I think these would make a really great companion to the divination process. So that's going to be it for this video on the Celtic Tree Oracle. Many blessings.